Okay, well, thank you for coming and welcome to the Auburn Avenue Research Library. I am Frederick Cox, the reference librarian or one of the reference librarians here. I have been on staff since 2015. This presentation is mostly going to cover how to find materials at the Auburn Avenue Research Library using the online catalog. So we can get started. First, are there any questions? Okay, so once again, this particular presentation deals with how to locate materials at Auburn using the online catalog. Now, this particular catalog is system-wide. It's the Fulton County Library System's catalog, but we're going to go over how to use that catalog to find specifically materials at the Auburn Avenue Research Library. Of course, I try to cover as many languages as I can, making my welcome, so I'll just say it. Bienvenidos, karibu, Akwaba, welcome.
What is Akwaba?
Akwaba is Twi, the Akan language spoken in Ghana, West Africa. Of course, in Ghana, there are three major ethnic groups, the Awe, the Ga, and the Akan. And the Akan are the largest. Their language is called Twi, which is spelled T-W-I. And so that word, Akwaba, means welcome in their language. Now let's start off with me introducing this historical institution. Who are we? Well, the Auburn Avenue Research Library is a special library of the Fulton County Library System, formerly the Atlanta Fulton Public Library System. The name change happened in 2017. The first public library in the Southeast and second of its kind to offer specialized reference and archival collections dedicated to the study and research of African American culture and history and of other peoples of African descent. So wherever melanated people can be found, Afro-Latinos in Latin America, people in Russia. We do have books on melanated people living in Russia. People living throughout Europe and Asia. We have books and materials that cover each one of those micro and macro cultures. A little more on who we are. The Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American Culture and History opened in May 1994 in Atlanta. It is a special library of the Fulton County Public Library System. It's the first public library in the Southeast to offer specialized reference and archival collections dedicated to the study and research of African American culture and history and of other peoples of African descent. Now, we're the second. The first is the Schomburg Library in New York City, and it's the largest. All the other African-American research libraries are, in one way or another, padded after Schomburg, which includes the African-American Research Library and Cultural Center in Fort Lauderdale, the Devin Caldwell Library in Denver, Colorado, and the African-American Research Center at the Gregory School in Houston, Texas. This library was temporarily closed for 2 years and reopened in 2016 after a $20 million renovation project. we're celebrating 30 years. It did open in 1994, so of course, last year marked 30 years. And we're continuing a legacy that began in 1921 with the opening of the Auburn branch of the Carnegie Library of Atlanta, the first public library branch for African Americans. The AARL collection in 1935 began as the Negro History Collection. So the collection itself was incepted long before this library was opened. Now, let's talk about the different divisions, and there are three major divisions. On this floor, we have the Program and Outreach Division. This division sponsors all the major events and programs that take place at Auburn. The room we are in right now is the Heritage Education Center, our instructional room. Next door, we have the Authors and Writers Lounge, which is a multi-purpose room that can be used for many events and lectures, presentations, and it can be used for classes. In fact, I've used it in the past for yoga class. Then we have the Archives Division, which is located on the third floor. The Archives Division contains a number of collections that were donated by various historians or their families, which includes, for instance, the Andrew Young papers, the Akbar Imhotep papers, which I curated myself, and a host of other collections and pictures, articles, pamphlets from programs and funerals. It's a wealth of information, and in order to access it, you would have to make an appointment with an archivist. That brings us to the Reference and Research Division, my department, which is on the second floor. The Reference and Research Division contains most of the materials here that patrons come to look into for research. We house over 80,000 books. We also have magazines, we have newspapers, we have vertical file items that focus specifically on the African and Africana experience. To access our materials, you would have to come up to the second floor and request what you want to see. You would only be able to use it in-house as nothing here circulates. So let's go on and move into looking at how to use the catalog. Let's go over how users can dive into the collection and discover what AARL has to offer. First thing, this is how the Fulton County Library System's homepage looks. And in order to get to Auburn's webpage, you have to go to Fulton County's homepage, which is located at www.fulcolibrary.org. I'll allow just a moment for you to write that down. Okay. Now, on the blue bar, you would need to go to hours and locations. When you click that, it'll give you a list of options. And these are the options once you've clicked hours and locations. From there, you would have to click the link titled Auburn Avenue Research Library to get to our page. And this is what you will find. You will go to our homepage. From there, you find the search box, which gives you different options of how you can search for material. Go by keyword, title, author, subject, tag, list, or user. And I'm going through each one of them one by one. With the keyword default, you will be able to find a broad range of items in the collection based on the word that is used. So you see that I've used African dance, a topic that I'm constantly doing research on, under keyword. Once I click that, then the keyword option, you will find items that either have that keyword in the title or refer to a given subject. Look at what I've gotten as a result of choosing African dance. Title, African dance, and artistic historical, historical and philosophical inquiry, one of many items we carry on that subject. Okay, now we can move on. If you know the title of the item for which you are searching, you can always select the title option. Notice under title, I have Choice of Weapons by Gordon Parks. Just keep in mind, there may be more than one item with that same title or a similar title. And of course, this is what you'll get if you go under title. You'll get Gordon Parks, A Choice of Weapons. You will also get, I guess, James Bond, Choice of Weapons. Apparently not one of the original Ian Fleming writings. And we could go by the author's name. That would take me specifically to A Choice of Weapons by Gordon Parks. Notice I have the last name, comma, first name order. That's what we recommend when you are going by author. When searching for a book by author, it is suggested that you type last name, comma, first name. With the author option, the catalog will list all titles in the system written by that author. So it would include A Choice of Weapons. It would also include The Learning Tree. And as you can see here, Smile in Autumn and the Flavio Story. And definitely other items that he has authored or edited. Next, we go to subject. Subject is good when you know your topic of interest. So if you specifically have a topic that you're researching and you want to find out what books might be available, you can simply click subject. I have jazz music here because that's a topic that I'm often interested in and want to look up as much as I can about the history of this American art form. Then there's tag. Tag can also be a useful search option. Well, before I go any further, are there any questions thus far?
How specific you need to be on that category?
Keyword?
If you're looking for, in the subject, if you're looking for Black cemetery. Cemetery for Black buried in there.
In that case, you may need to do a Boolean, maybe cemeteries and Black. You may have to start general and then work your way into specific. You may have to,
Do that.
yes, type cemeteries and then default it to Auburn. Not only will tag provide title possibilities, it will also provide reading lists based on the chosen topic. So down here, because I had typed Malcolm X, it's showing a list of titles that deal with Malcolm X. Now, this leads to the last search item, which is called list. You'll see how that differs from tag. With the list option, you will get access to all the lists on a subject that have been created by Fulton County librarians. This can be helpful for a researcher. So you see the lists, different lists, in addition to the one list that you saw with the tag option. This also will include lists that were created outside of, outside of Fulton Library, outside of Fulton County Public Library. Okay. So what about these buttons? Well, all right. So I'm not able to see the, let me move this. Okay. Cover view, group results view, and print. And the first one, since I'm not able to see what I put here, I'll have to move forward and it'll show. The first one was list view. The list view is a button that will take the user to a list of items available within the selected topic. So I have a list here of items by Toni Morrison. Using the list view button, I was able to go to Toni Morrison and the lists that are available. Next button, cover view. It will show you the same titles, only you also see what the cover looks like. Group results. Group results view lets the user know how many copies of a given title are in the system in all forms. So, for instance, we take Jazz by Toni Morrison. This option will let you know that it's available in downloadable audiobook, ebook, and paperback. It also will be available in hardback. However, it's just not showing particularly on this screen. Okay, so let's go search for an item available at AARL. Search term box is to the right of the filter box, which says author in the picture. After putting in your search term, it really should say type the magnifying glass icon. Hourglass is just, well, just an error, but it's the magnifying glass icon. On the next page, you will receive a list of all materials in the library system that match your search term. Filter your choices by location. Select Auburn Avenue Research Library as your location filter. And then once you've done that, find the search box in the upper right-hand corner. The orange arrow is pointing to the search box. Also find the search term default beside the search box, which is in red. Search term default will allow users to search by title, author, subject, or keyword search, as previously stated. When searching by author, this has also been stated, it is recommended that you enter the last name, comma, first name in the search box. With title, one can just type the title as is. Roll of thunder, hear my cry. After clicking the magnifying glass icon to go to the next page, click the arrow right beside Available Now, and then select Auburn Avenue Research Library. So under Available Now, you will see different locations. Just click Auburn and you will be able to narrow your search down to the titles that we specifically carry. The catalog will show what Auburn carries based on the search term used. To find out more about a specific item, click the title. Now, clicking the title brings the user to a page which lists biographical information about the book along with an annotation. So as we click Go Tell It on a Mountain, it shows the author, James Baldwin, his lifespan, the year the book was published, and then it gives a full synopsis of this book and what it's about. Then there's the list option. By using the list option, one may find a comprehensive list of titles based on your topic. Depending on the topic, this option may take the user to a reading list made by an FCLS staff person. Or as previously said, perhaps not necessarily an FCLS staff person, but someone who has created and published a list. And then, of course, the example of a list that you may find using that option.
I'm trying to get a sense of how much you could do at home online versus come down. And if you come down, what do you need to bring with you? That's if you haven't seen it.